What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Poke Office. My name is Colin. Today we're talking about Pokemon singles in August 2024. A few days ago, we looked at the Pokemon sealed product in August 2024, and I kind of just had this feeling that this is a good time to take a deep breath, take a step back, reassess, reevaluate, because things are kind of not moving too much, which is not a bad thing whatsoever, because the last 6 months of the Pokemon space in the markets have been very volatile, lots of movement, lots of ups, lots of downs, and that's not a time to be scared and just FOMO into buying stuff. That's a time to take a step back. Now, it's time as it slows down a little bit, we can reassess and look into what our actual goals and what our actual collecting, investing things, dollars are going in towards. So in this singles video, we're going to look all the way through Scarlet and Violet era, what the markets have been doing over the last couple months. Then we'll get into the Sword and Shield era. And I want to just reiterate, like, now might be a time to take a deep breath, because Pokemon is going to hit us like a bus coming up in the later half of 2024. Shrouded Fable is right around the corner on August 2nd. Then we have Stellar Crown on September 13th. Then we have Surging Bolt in November. Then there's news about the Team Rocket set. There's news about the Eevee set. There's news about there was news about tag teams. I don't think that's actually a thing, but trainers, Pokemon coming. And then there's still the rumor about Mega Pokemon. Tons of stuff happening and tons of new sets coming out right quick. So buckle up. But right now, let's take a look at where these markets are at for single Pokemon cards in August 2024. Okay, so starting off, we got Twilight Mas Grade, which just continues to rock and roll. This set rocks, in my opinion. And starting off, we have the Eevee up 31.9% just in the last month, and it's now at $55.85. It was over $70 for a short period of time. It's kind of come back down to earth now, but this is a big card for sure. Then we have the Perrin, $77.23. Not a ton of change here, kind of hovering in that $70 to $80 range all day long. Gorgeous card. Another gorgeous card, the Carmine. This one doing really good. Hit a high there of $114. Now still above $100 at $105.09. Absolutely wild that there's two cards in this set that are over $100. And that's not including the Perrin, which is a $77 card. Of course, we have the Greninja EX. This card, some people are calling it the Moonbreon of Scarlet and Violet era. I don't know if that's true or not, but man, does this card continue to rock and roll. A month ago, it was at $210. Now it's at $251. At Card Party in early June, or I guess mid-June, we bought this card for $145. This card is rocking. Like, seriously, absolutely crazy how good this card is, and the pull rates are just really tough. The artwork is really good. I mean, it makes for a good set and a good chase card for sure. Okay, we'll move on to Temporal Forces. This set has just kind of been slowly bleeding down a little bit. Prime Catcher down to $20.94. Then we have the Iron Leaves. Remember when this set came out? Opening day, Iron Leaves was the top card of the set. Not anymore. It's not even close. It's down to $38.89, a 10% or 9% drop over the last 3 months. Then we have Gouging Fire, $39.47, a 10% drop. Walking Wake actually up a little bit, 6% to $48.31, a really, really cool card. Iron Crown, this card held the top spot for a while in the set. This one had that big market manipulation going on early on. I think that was actually opening weekend of Temporal Forces, where it spiked up to, like, there was a sale of $250, but was there actually? That's where the TCG player market manipulation stuff happens. But now it's at $57.94. Lots of people, including myself, I thought this card was going to be the top card of the set long term, but it is not. It's the Raging Bolt, currently holding strong in that $80 range. Current market price is $81.63, and it's up substantially over the last 3 months, 46.4% gain. Paldean Fates, we talked about it last week because it's been out for 6 months already. Time is flying. These baby shinies are doing really well. The Charmeleon, Charmander, both in that kind of $20 range. The Pikachu holding strong at $35, which is absolutely nuts. Then we have the big three chase cards. The Gardevoir, down a little bit, but still holding strong in that $50 range. Current market price is $47.03. The Bubble Mew holding strong at that $80 range. Not much change there. And Charizard still holding strong at that $110 range. So this set is just, I think it is a total banger set, I'm going to be honest with you, and it's holding strong. Hey, if you're liking the content, I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel with bell notifications on, hit the like button, leave a comment. Are you buying singles this month? Are you selling singles this month? What are you doing for your collection or for your investments? And if you want to support the channel, I have a YouTube membership. Gives you some videos that I do for members only occasionally, and it gets you discount codes for the live streams, which it's summertime right now, so they're not happening every week. But once we get back into the swing of things, we're doing those almost every week, and you get really good discounts for opening packs on the channel. So if you want to support, click the join button down below and join the membership. All right, this is probably the biggest news of this video. Paradox Rift has a new leader in charge. Roaring Moon, ever since release of Paradox Rift, has been the top card of the set, but no longer. This one down 9.1% over the last 3 months to $50.46. And guess who? Groudon coming in hot at $52.44. A nice almost 50% gain on this card over the last couple of months. Absolutely ridiculous. The second set in Scarlet and Violet era where an illustration rare is the top card of the set, not the special illustration rare. Just wild stuff. And this makes 2 sets where I've had the top card now, the top illustration rare, Magikarp and Groudon, in a PSA 10, and I sold them both because they weren't the top card of the set. I suck. All right, SV151, still one of my favorite sets. Look at these 3 bad boys. Gorgeous cards. These cards haven't changed much, so I didn't even include the graph. Venusaur and Blastoise have just been hovering in that $40 to $50 range all day long. Charizard actually is up a couple bucks, but it's kind of been in that $100 to $125 range ever since the set released. There's got to be a reprint coming soon, I would suspect. I don't think there's anything actually confirmed, but it's basically confirmed for Scarlet and Violet 151 reprint. How big is it? That's yet to be determined for sure, so we'll wait and see. I would suspect that's coming like September, October from what I'm hearing, but I mean, I'm just hearing it through the grapevine, so you need to take that with a grain of salt is what I'm trying to say. Obsidian Flames, all-time lows. This Charizard special illustration rare here, $42.96. This one just continues to drop, not holding strong, even though it is a pretty cool card, and it is very playable in the TCG. Paldea Evolved also stalled quite a bit. Tyranitar had that big gain a couple months ago, and now it's just kind of flatlined at that $33 range, but still over the last 3 months, up 42%. Raichu has never had that drop, but it's flatlined here, right around that $40 mark. Current market price is $39.58, but still a nice gain for this card. The Iono kind of just laying flat, actually down a little bit to $70.91. And then the Magikarp had spiked all the way up to above $140. Now it's at $120. So still doing really, really well. One of the top cards of Scarlet and Violet era. One of the other sets that it has the illustration rare as the top card in the set. I didn't include anything from Scarlet and Violet base set because it's really just stalled out. There's not much to talk about. Speaking of stalled out, Crown Zenith, the same thing. Palkia V-Star, the Origin Form version, had that big gain up to almost $70. Now it's back down to $48.25, kind of flatlined. Dialga, same thing, up to $60-something. Now it's down to $50.23. Mewtwo V-Star hit $75. Now it's kind of just slowly bled down back to $53.29. Arceus, same graph, hit that big high, came back down, now it's at $69. Giratina V-Star, same graph, hit that high of $135, now it's at $103. I mean, Crown Zenith has really just had that big boom 2.5 months ago or so where everything was spiking, all the cards we just talked about, including some of the other ones as well, the Suicune, the Entei, the Raikou, the Glaceon, the Leafeon, all those cards had big spikes. Now they've all come back down a little bit, but still probably higher than they were before that big spike. All right, now we're going to look at all the Sword and Shield alt arts because these were also just part of that big volatile market 2.5, 3 months ago, and these are slowing down as well. Moltres from Chilling Reign down over the last 3 months to $144.67. But I will say this card was at like that $110 mark, so it's still higher. That's the whole point of this. Blaziken was like at a $200 mark at some point. Now it's at $317. So this one's actually still gained, but it was at $400. Like if you look at the 1 month graph, this is down quite a lot. It was at a $400 card just at the end of May, which is absolutely wild. Espeon hit a huge high of over $300 end of May. Now it's back down to $244, but 3 months ago, it was only $194.79, so that's still part of that big climb a couple months back. Gengar was climbing like crazy early on. This was at the end of April and early May, up to almost $420. Now it's down to $300. So actually a big drop, but in the 3-month graph, it's only down 6.4%. So important to look at the highs and the lows and what's actually happening, not just looking at one specific graph. Charizard, similar thing. It was at $159, hit a high of almost $200. Now it's down to $140. So lots of change here. Starmie, same thing. Started at a low, hit a high, and now coming back down. But still, that new low is higher than the old low. So that big spike did make a difference in these cards. The Machamp, same thing. $121 where it started. Hit like $185, I want to say, for this card. Now it's at $130. So not a huge gain, but it's still up $9. Giratina, this card looked like it was never going to stop because it hit a high of $480. Now it's at $389, so just below the $400 mark. Absolutely wild stuff. And the Lugia, same thing, hit a high of $230. Now it's down to $170. So same old story for all of the Sword and Shield alternate arts, basically, except you obviously have been paying attention. We haven't talked about Evolving Skies yet because Evolving Skies continues to be Evolving Skies. It's the best set of Sword and Shield by a significant margin. It's not even close, and these cards just continue to crush. Rayquaza, actually the same old story as what we were just talking about. Started at a point, hit a high of $150. Now it's down, actually down more than where it started at 3 months ago. But this card didn't used to be a $100 card. Now it is $110.42. Dragonite, same thing, down quite a bit over the last 3 months, but this card used to be like a $90 card, not a $131 card. So if you look at the big picture, this card is still up. Umbreon, same thing. This was a $90 card. Now it's a $143.53 card. Sylveon, now we're into some green. 3 months ago, this card was $167.14. Now $210.21, a 25% gain. Very nice. Glaceon, absolutely cooking, up 60% to $302.22. Just wild how expensive some of these Evolving Skies cards are. The Leafeon up to $324, which also just had a big gain. But this one's holding. Like, this one is not dropping. Had that big spike 2.5-3 months ago, and now it's just holding there. So big gains. Rayquaza coming back down to earth a little bit. Check this out. It hit a high of almost $550. That was only 2 months ago. Now it's back down to under 400. So that's a big drop, actually. Even though this graph is showing 8.8% up, this card has been very, very volatile. It was $367, then $550, now $399. That's big gains and drops. And then, of course, the king of Sword and Shield, the king of Modern, the Umbreon VMAX. And this card hit that high of like $950. Now it's back down to $845, but still, it's an $845 Pokemon card. Come on now. This card absolutely cooks. It's going to continue cooking. The Umbreon just cannot be stopped. It is, of course, the king of the Pokemon Modern world. I mean, Evolving Skies can't be stopped. It is such a good set. And realistically, I think this is probably good for all of us collectors, all of us investors, however you enjoy the hobby, that you need to take a step back. Like, it's not a rush to go grab these cards. And I fall into that trap just as easily as anyone else because I was buying the Giratina V alternate art PSA 10 at like the all-time high. I paid a ton for it. But at the same time, it's a card that I really wanted, and the time was right. I had the money, so I just did it. Like, there's a point in time where if you're collecting, if you want that card, just go out and get it. But at the same time, you got to know that sometimes there's these volatile times in Pokemon markets where there's big gains to be had if you have the card, or the cards just get way more expensive if you don't have the card. But usually those big gain periods are followed by a leveling off period or a coming back down to earth period like we're seeing right now. But like I said in the introduction, hold on to your horses, buckle up, strap in, whatever you want to say, because Pokemon is going to be coming in hot and heavy over the next like 6 to 9 months. I'm telling you, there's some really cool stuff. I'm really, really excited for Pokemon. Hope you are too. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and be ready. Shrouded Fable is out on August 2nd. I'm looking forward to it. So we'll talk very soon. Until my next video, peace!